Welcome back to CX in the Wild Season 4.
So, we're recording. Let's start with who you are and what you do.
I am Ginger Conlon, Thought Leadership Director at Genesys, where I am part of the team that creates research-led content, reports, white papers, et cetera, to bring the voice of the customer and the employee and the CX leader into Genesys, but also back out to the market.
Nice. That's how long has that role existed at Genesys?
2.5 years.
Okay, were you the first?
My boss and I were joined at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a great role to have, and you probably learn so much on a daily basis about the industry.
Yes, which I love, and I used to do as a journalist, just kind of keeping an ear out, so to speak, of what's happening in the market, what's important to CX leaders, what customers and agents care about, and then sharing that back out. It's fun.
Nice. Do you want to talk about your journey up until Genesys? Like what? I love the journalism piece of it. So you know how to ask the right questions. I feel very insecure about interviewing you right now.
It's fun to be on the other side of the conversation. So, I was the editor-in-chief of One-to-One magazine, which covers customer experience, marketing, the editor-in-chief of Direct Marketing News, CRM magazine. So I've been around in the market, the U.S. editor of The Drum. So writing about marketing, customer experience, customer service, and sales for the past about 30-ish years.
Oh, and so you're probably great at navigating all the buzzwords and hype.
So many buzzwords. And sometimes you want to condense them, but the market just won't let you. You know, for example, multi-channel, omni-channel. I mean, it's just, we want to be talking about a bunch of channels and those coming together, but there are actually different meanings, right? So as much as you just want to have one word to talk about it, no, multi-channel is using a bunch of independent channels for marketing or customer service, but omni-channel is using a bunch of connected channels for marketing and service so that a customer can have a seamless journey where the context travels along with them.
That was probably the most astute definition I've ever heard on those two buzzwords. I feel like now we should do a whole segment on buzzwords and what do they mean.
No.
So what a great history. Now, you ended up in customer experience. Did you choose that or did that choose you?
I love that question. I think that it chose me because I'm inclined towards educating the market, towards helping companies create a better experience for their customers. Years ago, after writing about marketing customer experience for a very long time, I said, I'm going to take a quiz online to see what job I should be doing that's not this. I want to change. And so the results of the quiz said that I should be either a writer or working in customer service. And I was like, well, okay, apparently the universe says I'm in the right place. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
Perfect. So before we drift off onto other topics, you just made me think, what is the definition of customer experience?
Customer experience is the customer's perception of the totality of interactions they have with the brand. So it's everything from how they feel about interactions with the brand, how they feel about the advertisements, the marketing, the unboxing, all of those things combined is the customer experience.
And in your role, Genesys sort of has a niche in the world of customer experience. How would you define that niche?
Genesys is focused on experience orchestration, so helping its customers create that connected journey for its customers, wherever they're coming in for service or for information or to solve a problem with a brand, and then helping that brand get that customer seamlessly through to the resolution that they're looking for.
So you make me think, since I have you, I feel like this is such a rare, it's a little more rare opportunity to speak to somebody steeped with so much richness in knowledge within the industry. Let me ask you a couple of like real questions, because I think for the audience, I could interview anyone and almost everyone will say, this is what happened up to the pandemic and this is what's happened afterwards. But there's always this hangover of like before and after. But I think you have the, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I just feel like you might have the sensibility to not bog us down in what happened leading up to and during the pandemic. Can you share the fresh new ideas that have emerged since the time of which we will not speak?
I think a lot of the fresh new ideas are actually trying to improve upon what's been happening. Take the pandemic out of it, just over time, right? So companies have been trying to use advanced analytics to understand their customers, to deliver better marketing, better customer service for years, right? And it's been an evolution. It will continue to be an evolution because they want to get it right. Because if you use it, say for chatbots, and a customer comes and doesn't have a great experience, they're not going to come back to your chatbot, right? So you've got to take your time to get it right. And it's people are kind of putting their toes in the water. They want to move fast, but they also want to be cautious so they don't mess up the customer experience. And they're trying to be more creative about how they can use tools like advanced analytics in their customer experience to make it better. To make it better for the customers, to make it better for the employees, to make it more, profitable in terms of what's happening within the company. And so there's a lot of that's more evolution than wholesale, like this is completely net new thing. What happens is, like with ChatGPT bringing up all this hype around generative AI. Generative AI has been around a long time. Large language models have been around, but they were kind of hidden in the back, right? Companies are using them. Now ChatGPT comes along and everyone's talking about it. And so now there's like this rush to what should we be doing, right? So there's a lot of companies trying to rush, but there's also a lot of companies saying, okay, how do we use this wisely? And I think that's happening in a lot of areas where what the hype gets the shiny object gets the attention, but there's still a lot of evolution in the background.
It's interesting. What I heard you say was the one of the things that was born from the transition was cautious creativity.
Yes.
Is that fair?
I like that.
Okay. Co-signed and endorsed by Ginger. No. Okay, so what are you paying attention to? You're doing a lot of research. What are you digging into? I mean, please, let's not have another conversation about AI and all that. What else is happening? I'm just protecting my phone because it's like overheating. I think we're okay if we put it here and then shake.
Yeah. So what are we paying attention to? Well, we're paying attention to what customers want and what employees want and how that translates into what companies are actually doing. Because, of course, it needs to be a win-win, right? I mean, just as much as you want the customer to always be right, and as much as you want to do all that you can for your employees, you also it has to make business sense, right? So some of the research that we've done, like the state of customer experience, 86% of consumers say that a company is only as good as its service. That's big, up from 70% in 2021. So what are companies doing about that, right? So then we're asking those questions and following up to see what's actually happening in the market. And, it's interesting just to see where companies are focusing. A lot of the focus area right now on the CX leader side, when I say CX leaders, I mean those folks in charge of the customer experience, no matter what their title might be, is trying to create, like we were talking about before, those omni-channel experiences. Like just make it seamless for the customer and bring the employee into that in ways that they can deliver a better experience because they're getting the information they need about the customer in the moment.
That's a lot. That was quite a bit. So let me see if I can get at another truth with you. All right, give me your hot take on people. I'll give you my hot take, and then you can criticize it. People say the jump from GPT 3.5 to 4 was, let's call it an order of magnitude.
Mm-hmm.
And then people say, oh, wait till we have GPT-5, that's going to be this much more. And then they say 6 is going to be this much more. Here's my hypothesis. I don't think we're ever going to get past 5. I think like to double 5 is like would take all the computers and power in the world. So like, am I on base or off base there?
Well,
what does the research say?
The research, I don't know actually what the research says.
What do you think?
I think that companies are going to try and get the most they can from ChatGPT and all of its competitors. I think AI is going to be evolutionary, but we have to use it with all the precautions of security and of making sure that accuracy, DE and I is in there. Yeah. So just using it how you should, not just because you can. Right? And so, okay, great. If we can get to, level 5, level 6, level 7, but is it meeting our needs?
Let's walk over here to the shade and keep talking. It's so funny. I was just talking to someone, but my old boss used to say, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And if you don't believe me, just type that into Google and you'll get a bunch of examples of people who should have known better. So, all right. What do you think is on the horizon? Like, here's something I'm fascinated with. You're a thought leader. Speaking of another buzzword, thought leader. But what I like about the little bit of research I did on you is I wouldn't say you're necessarily, I don't think thought leader, but thought leaders who come from this place of like journalism, knowing to ask the right questions, understanding how vocabulary works, and prescribing new ideas or introducing more coherence into the conversation. I guess I would argue that thought leader could probably be broken down into a lot of different subgenus and species. But I think that you present this unique opportunity where we can learn, but also leverage your thoroughness in examination to see maybe some more clarity for the future. Do you have any thoughts that are unpopular but clear in your mind about the future of our industry?
Clear but unpopular. Well, maybe not even in the future, maybe right now. There is a lot of talk about all the things, right?
Yeah.
Improving customer experience, improving employee experience. And it's great that there is so much talk about it, because that's how things get done. And I'm all for don't rush to the shiny object and be cautious. But I think that more needs to be done, maybe a little bit faster, on employee experience. These are the people who are the face to your customer, whether it's on the phone, whether it's via chat, whether it's at the back end of the call center doing development. You need to take care of those folks because they're taking care of your customers. Don't just keep talking about it. Let's do it. Let's create some learning paths for these people, learning and development, career paths. Let's make a great culture to support the people who take care of your customers. And let's do it now, not whenever, sometime in the future. We just need to keep talking about it until we figure it out.
If we could get better at employee experience and scaling that, we could probably, mark my words, here's an unpopular, crazy thought from me. If you could actually scale career paths and positive employee experiences, you'd have more effect on world peace than probably almost any other business mechanism, Anyway, all right, well, thank you for talking to me on CX in the Wild. Any parting thoughts, ideas you'd like to share with our audience? Do you want to ask me a question? You can do whatever you want. It feels like so one-sided. I feel like I'm interrogating you.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. What's your one thing that you think everyone should be thinking about right now that they're not paying enough attention to?
I would say that the number one thing in this moment with this question that no one is paying attention to or people are overlooking would be the fact that okay, it's my podcast. I can say whatever I want.
Yes, you can.
Here's what I would say. One thing I would pay attention to is that with all the talk in the customer experience industry and all the technologies and scale and growth and efficiency, buzzword, I think people intentionally overlook that satisfaction worldwide is driven by underserved communities. And that I would try to raise awareness to the fact that it's when you improve humanity where it's needed most, that the effect that has on your local community, your global community, your business, and your bottom line, there's a truth there that I wish more people would see.
I love that. Perfect.
Thank you. You can interview me next time. All right. Thank you so much for being on CX in the Wild. It's been great talking to you. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening to CX in the Wild. We hope to see you the next episode.